Yes, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It's episode 12 now, is it? Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm joined by Master Trainer Will Hukin here to my left. It's Will Bartholomew Hukes himself.
Too goddamn right.
Talking to the microphone.
Good to see you, sir. How are you?
Excellent.
Sorry, I'm trying to balance shooting a podcast and eating breakfast at the minute. So
Chewing a grenade bar.
I know, I feel quite rude about it, but...
It'll be fine. I wish I could eat those grenade bars because I really like them, like the way they taste and stuff like this, but my stomach will fall out.
And that's on IBS.
It is, yeah. It's because it's got lactose, it's got polyalcohols as well, which I just cannot digest at all. I'll have really bad stomachache.
All my favourites.
Really bad. For a lot of people, it's great and it works well for them. For me, it does not work great and it is not good. Have you ever put one in the microwave?
No.
Bro, put it in the microwave for 20 seconds and then get a spoon. You'll have the best time of your life. You know, it's a bit too chewy.
Yeah.
No, I don't reckon.
I know. That's the genuine kind of thing with
It's a bit too chewy,
in
isn't it? Put it in the microwave for 20 seconds. Do you know what else you can do? If you make oats and then get scissors, I used to get it and then cut it with scissors into the oats and then mix it in and it melts slightly in. It's the best of all times. If you're trying to bulk, it's great.
Of all times.
Of all the times. Put a bit of whey in it. Put a bit of whey into the oats and then cut that into it as well. Yeah. Really good.
Are you making potions here or what?
You've got to make healthy eating interesting, haven't you? Otherwise, yeah. So I would love to eat those, but I just definitely cannot. Anyway, it's episode 12. We're back. To my right here as well is Melanie Vidler once again. Thank you for coming in on the previous Q&A episode.
Thank you.
You always have excellent things to say, and you're barely on the camera. Come on now. Thank you so much.
Boom, we're all in.
We're all in the camera. Hello, it's good to see you all again. You just got back from Germany, we were saying, weren't we?
I have.
How was your trip?
Interesting, nice scenery. They do too much shopping. They do. I prefer to look at historical stuff and scenery and stuff like that, but they like shopping. But we did a few walks and stuff, and my friend's an army guy and he gave me a competition. We had to do 100 press-ups in one day in 3 hours. And I did 105 because he thought I miscounted. I did his 4 to his 1 by the time we started.
That's an intense amount as well.
Yeah, were your arms hurting or what?
Oh yes, the next day, I thought I had woman pecs or man pecs or something.
Hey, pecs are non-gender specific, we'll have you know. Yeah, we won't have sexist, muscular flipping attachments.
Well, that's how it felt. It felt like I had
boob doms.
That's it.
You can have boob doms where I can't. That's true. But pecs are pecs.
Awesome. Well, welcome back. Your body weight management's gone great, hasn't it, while you were away?
It has, and it's interesting because I know a lot of people go away on holiday, they eat shit, drink loads, and they eat everything but the kitchen sink, if you like. All the nice stuff, the high calories. They don't give a shit in terms of what they're eating. But I still made sure I was eating reasonably well.
You did? You sent me pictures?
Yep.
Of, I don't know if all your food, but a lot of good choices.
Of it. Including my chocolate, come on.
You always do. You're always very open and honest. You send me pictures of every single snack and every single dessert and every single alcoholic drink that you have, don't you? And you were eating healthy. You had a good few salads. You chose some protein stuff. I saw some chicken-based meals and stuff like this were going on, weren't there?
Interesting sidebar. How much do you think that affects your enjoyment of holiday?
If I'm being honest, I still had cake and I still had the chocolate. And that didn't, and I still was drinking 6 nights of the holiday, so it didn't really affect the enjoyment. It's about what you control in your mouth, and that's the big thing about it.
So basically, not at all.
No, but I know some people think set the diet off. Oh, I've done 12 weeks. I'm gonna get fit. I'm gonna get whatever, get my body lower, and then they go on holiday, gain about 20 stone.
Nah. You're right.
And then they come back thinking miserable. But I did know that when I come back, I'm like, and my friend says, "Oh, you're gonna gain loads of weight when you come back." I went, "I'm not, and I know I'm not, and this is it because."
And you haven't.
I haven't, and I did this when I went to London. I still had a drink, I didn't have as much crap as the other person that were with me, but...
No specific call out.
No, but I still kept in my goals, and the fact is, it don't matter where you are in the world, you still can do it.
Yeah.
Love this. Well done. Very proud of you. Yeah, you did awesome. You're right. It's about balance, isn't it? You did eat chocolate. You sent me pictures of chocolate. What did you have? Milka bars?
Yeah, there were 213 calories per 40 grams. They give you in packets of 5.
See the knowledge?
I was going to say, especially when you've been doing it for as long as you have this internal kind of calculator and intuitive calculator to just kind of know what you're eating. It's almost like it's like a sensor as it goes in your mouth. You're like ding 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 ding.
No, they hate me in the office.
And you know.
Because I go around and I've got, you know that 73 calories you're putting in your mouth? I go, it's Fat Friday. I went, there's no such thing as Fat Friday.
Wow, this is all good points. Fat Friday should go out the window, I agree.
All calories count all times, basically.
Do you know what I
whether
mean?
you're on
Yeah.
holiday or not. And you are right with what you did. So you went on holiday, saw your friends, you also did some nice walking, you also did some shopping, okay, you also ate some cake, you ate some chocolate, you drank some alcohol, but you also ate some healthy meals. So you've had a good time, you've had a social time, you've been to a different country, and then you've not come back thinking, oh, I've gained 5 kg or whatever.
I even made some cupcakes and I had 2.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
But you've come back basically the same weight, tiny little bump up. Probably most of that's water retention from
Yeah,
flying
absolutely.
and boozing.
Absolutely.
That'll have gone within like 3 or 4 days.
And all that to say, you've had a good time, so profitable returns.
It's healthy and happy.
Way
it's
up.
getting everything that you want. It's
Little diet break.
because if you came back
Yeah,
and you were
yeah.
5 kg heavier, how upset would you be right now today on this podcast?
Oh, God,
you wouldn't
I'd
be
be
pleased, would
miserable.
you? Because it would take us a while to get that weight back down.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
well, for me, it's a challenge. No matter what I do, it's a challenge. And I've told you this before. It does my head in because when I go up and I send you a message going, what the fucking hell's going on here? Because I find things a lot harder because my body's not normal. Well, I think it's not normal. So it's taken a long time to sort of get to the mentality and understand that certain things trigger the actual weight gain.
Like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Well, I know maintenance for me is between 16 and 1800. When we first started out, it was 2000, and I went, it's not working, Connor. I'm putting weight on, it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about adjusting and then realising actually, if I want a deficit, and if I need to lose weight, I need to work at between 1200 and 1400 calories.
For a decent weight loss
Yeah.
result,
Yeah.
Yeah, because let's start at the beginning and let's talk about everything that's going on then. So when we did the calorie calculations at the start, it came out around 2000 maintenance, something like this. We tried that for a bit. It wasn't exactly working too well.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
A while ago now, wasn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
But you've got polycystic ovary syndrome. This can slow people's metabolism down by up to 40% on its own. 20% is more common. 10% is even more common. You know, some ladies with polycystic ovary syndrome don't have a slowed metabolism as well. So you can't just like start chopping at people's calorie intakes and stuff. We kind of had to test it. You said to me, of course, that you thought it was a bit harder for you to lose weight than it should be.
Absolutely.
Turned out it's right. So you have got this metabolic reduction. We've tested it enough times with very good calorie counting. You counting, me counting, both of us judging and assessing. And we figured out that, your calorie maintenance is lower than it should be based on your average statistics. We've got some blood sugar management, diabetes stuff going on, haven't we?
Absolutely.
You've got the B12 malabsorption going on.
Yeah.
That's something I don't know anything about. Is that as in
Yeah, you want to talk about
vitamins?
this?
Well, B12. So in 2009, I was a bigger lady. I was about 134 kilos.
Right.
And a lot of my family are big. And my view was, at the time I wanted to have children, but then it didn't pan out how I wanted it to anyway. So I decided to use the tool of going to have bypass surgery. So as a consequence of that, I have to live on multivitamins and a B12 injection every 12 weeks. And by week 10, I die.
Slow mode. Anyway.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Right. Okay.
Yeah, because the B12 allows you to pull in the oxygen and the energy, and it then produces more blood. And if I get this right, if I'm wrong, Google it, folks.
Well said. Well covered. Yeah.
No, but you're right.
But-
It's to do with your metabolism.
But
and
it
energy
is,
production, basically.
and it affects the whole of your body because it affects your ability to fight infections, create your energy, function. Because I know by week 10, I feel like I've got dementia, so I can't always put my words right. And I spell things wrong. So he gets about 100 messages wrong way round. I'm going, oh, for God's sake!
Yeah, it affects you mentally and physically,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Because
And it affects your mental health, believe it or not.
Of course, I can believe that. Why is that a side effect of a bypass?
Because the stomach is being replumbed, whereas the sleeve, what they do is they don't cut as much away, whereas the stomach, they basically made it from that to that.
Right.
So, and they've replumbed intestines,
Yeah.
so you don't, and your body can't absorb everything. So,
And B12 is the first to go.
Yes.
I see. Okay.
and multivitamins as
So
well.
just sheer surface area type thing, reduce.
So I know myself, if I run out of multivitamins, by day 2, I'm dead.
Oh god.
So you basically, your vitamins are essential. They're your lifeline.
Well, that's good proof of that, isn't it? At
Yeah.
the extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to take vitamins, don't you?
Yeah.
The B12 starts to wear off, it seems, after about 10 weeks. We try and supplement it back with vitamin B12 spray,
Yeah.
which doesn't seem to work that well, does it?
It varies. I know last time it did work well because I caught it earlier, but I think sometimes it depends on how quick you can catch it, because sometimes when you're busy, you don't always catch it. Yeah.
It also depends on the absorption of that, though, as well,
Oh,
because
yeah.
some people's actual metabolisms some people need 1,000 more times vitamin B12 than other people.
Interesting.
Literally. So it might even be that with your genetics or with the surgery,
On top of it.
that even the spray, because we use a lot of that spray, don't we, as well? And we try and keep it under the tongue so it absorbs straight into the bloodstream and
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
bypasses the digestive system and stuff like this. How much of that's actually getting in, it's hard to tell, isn't it? But we got to try something, because they won't reduce the amount of time they give you the injection, will they?
No, I've tried. I've asked. I've been at the door going back. No, it's your diabetes. That's the excuse you use. And I'm like, it's not. I know it's not.
We know it's not.
No, it's
It's
not.
got nothing to do with that. Because your blood sugar levels, you monitor them anyway, and they're always pretty good and getting consistently better.
And I'm off one of the medications now.
Hit me now.
Oh.
See?
Let's
Yes.
Yeah, that's frustrating though, isn't it? What's that? The doctors are saying this?
Yes. So it gets annoying.
go. Yeah, so it's a bit
So-
difficult in that instance, isn't it?
So in 2009, when I had in the first 6 months of my surgery, I actually got down to 85.7
That's like 50 kg
kilo.
lost,
50
is
yeah.
it?
Yes,
In how long?
in 6 months. No, word of a lie.
No, slow down, wait.
No,
What?
no, I'm serious. Because when you first have the surgery, all you do is drink liquid,
I see.
and as time goes on, you start building up the introduction of food and
Okay.
stuff.
Was
Just
it
to
feeling
stretch
awful and painful?
I know, which is quite surprising. I wouldn't say so, no. But then everyone has different experiences, don't they?
Okay, yeah.
I
I know
think-
you had like digestive issues and it was
Yeah,
difficult
yeah.
to eat things and there was a lot of
Yeah.
sickness and stuff going on. I just wondered how it felt like on the inside.
I mean, the thing is, I know eating too much meat, you have. Sorry, it's disgusting, but you have to get rid of it. And there's a horrible way of doing it, but you have to get rid of it. And certain foods
You're talking about being
cause
sick?
yes,
Okay.
and certain foods irritate. And I can't. I love chow mein noodles, and I can't eat them. I can't eat them.
No.
I know, and
I feel
even
for you.
and spaghetti sometimes, pasta. Depends on how
Well,
it's
noodles
cooked.
and pasta are basically the same
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
aren't they? It's probably just too much like starchy stodge trying to get into the little stomach and it's got not really anywhere to sit. So it's probably just like
And beef steak.
paste.
Beef steak sometimes, and that's why I've started all eating. Like in Germany, I had a really small piece, and she went, "Oh, you can have a big piece." I went, "No," so I had a little piece like that.
Yeah, because red meat's like stereotypically hard
Yeah.
to digest.
Yeah,
And when
it
you've
is,
got
yeah.
like a much smaller digestive system, you kind of have to be careful, don't you? And it used to be worse for you, didn't it? Like you used to, if you eat too much of this or too much of that, you like will literally just be sick.
Yeah,
Kind of thing.
absolutely.
But obviously, it's been settling down over time, and you've been getting better at understanding what you can and can't eat over time.
Yes, and you can't eat loads of shit because, but there is you can get round stuff. This is the thing because you learn to get round stuff. But like if you eat a full bag of like Maltesers or minstrels, you're gonna suffer.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the toilet is your best friend for a few hours. Or what you have to do is, like I've experienced, you have to sleep off. You have to go and sleep it off,
Take a nap.
literally. And then it can be awful in what you're doing, but to be honest, I've used it. It's a tool. So if people say it's a get out of jail free card, it's not.
No.
It's not. It's a tool to.
I mean, it seems specifically helpful for you with polycystic ovaries and any other number of things that may keep metabolic kind of things lower. So that seems like a helpful tool to just help you get less in and feel satiated at the same time.
But the problem is then you get to a point that actually the weight starts creeping back up.
Yeah. So talk about what happened.
Yeah, go on.
So
You
I
did this surgery. You lost all that weight,
Yeah.
50 kg in 6 months.
yeah,
That's insane.
and then for about 18 months I sort of stayed stable, And then I started, more food you introduce, the more you actually start creeping back up. So when I started talking to Connor, I was doing a period of therapy, and then I started doing some Googling because I thought there's got to be something else, and then Connor's voice stuck out in the air.
It does that. It follows through walls as well.
Yeah. it sucks you in a bit, doesn't it?
Oh, thank you.
So, and then I got to about 107 then. So it then started creeping back up.
Yeah.
So, but then I started working with Connor for his sins, and but it weren't enough just having like a one-to-one, I think, conversation. The one-to-one, I know you come message and stuff like that, but I think you offered a slot out for private support, so I went, I'm taking that.
Oh yeah, so let's go back for a second. I was just messing about on my phone. I just worked out that to lose that much weight in that much time, you had roughly a 2,000 calorie deficit per day.
Oh, absolutely. You basically, I think for the first,
Which makes sense because that would have been about your BMR at probably 130 kg, and you just didn't eat. So that basically it's just not eating.
well, bear in mind you're living on liquids, so it'll be
Yeah.
like soups or smoothies.
just
So
not eating.
like 500-600 calories a day.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So I understand why Michael, whatever his name is, encourages them all to have them 800
Or
calories.
Michael Mosley.
Yeah, that's
the
him.
Fast Eight.
Yeah,
Michael Mosley is like a TV doctor food guy.
Legit or idiot?
a bit of both.
Alright.
I'm glad you said it. Yeah, good, smart guy. Dietary advice, like he has a diet called the Fast 800. You just eat 800 calories a day.
Oh yeah, that's...
He invented the 5-2 diet,
Okay.
which is a better idea.
Yeah,
You
that's a
eat
better
5
idea.
days and then you kind of don't eat 2 days. You have 2 very low calorie days. That's a more basic idea. He's also got, I think, got like the Fast 800 keto
Yeah.
or something like even more hardcore.
That is hardcore.
Yeah, so it's a bit like, and does it work? Yes. Does it get rid of people's diabetes? Yes, because you're just stopping eating, of course. Is it that smart or that sustainable? Not in my opinion.
No, because I mean I were in remission for diabetes when I went down to 85, but then as I introduced back in, I had to go back on medication. So it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? So I disagree with Michael Mosley's views.
That's okay. So yeah, and you were saying you lost the weight and then it started to creep back up. You got back to, what did you say, 107?
107.
107, yeah. Then you contacted me, joined the Slum Society group program. Why is that funny?
Because it was the factories. I'd done a little bit of research because obviously I did do Slimming World for a little bit, and I went, it don't work for someone that eats comfort food at all, that uses food as a comfort blanket, if you like. Or like I used to describe, my fridge is my best friend.
Yeah, you did. You used to say the fridge was like a backpack and you would just carry it around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Backpack fridge. Yeah.
No, it was.
I
It was
understand.
because when you're stressed and the fact was that you were dealing with things going off in your head. Oh, hang on. What's this? Oh, what's in the fridge? Oh, again, 2 minutes later. Oh, 2 minutes later.
It's just distraction,
Yeah.
isn't it, basically? It's little
Yeah.
dopamine hits, it's a little pleasure, it's a little de-stress, a little distract, It's just using an unfortunately more harmful than helpful method. It's more destructive than constructive.
I mean, the thing is, with bypass surgery, it's all right having all that thing, but the psychological side is not given.
Yeah.
And some people get that offer, but I know I didn't. Maybe I said the right things at the time. That's probably why I didn't get offered it. But as time's gone on, the psychological thing, I had to pay for my own psychological support.
Oh, right.
It cost me a lot of money.
I bet.
About $3,000.
And they don't touch on that at all? Like what you may expect, what you might...
No. And, but I think the...
Because what was that? Sorry, did that kind of boil down to the cravings not being able to be satiated? Like, what could you do? Chew food and spit it out? Or what? Get the flavour and not the calories?
No,
what was the biggest
because
thing?
the biggest thing is, chewing, because obviously chewing's important to build the distraction, but I think you swallow it, you're not going to give it back out, are you? You're not going to spit it back out.
No, yeah, true. No.
True.
True.
And the thing is, I was choosing like more high calorie junk food, and the fact is it was easier to go and buy it, quicker to go down to the shop, isn't it? Standard stuff, isn't it? But then I was like looking at things in a different way, and then I think it's took me a while to sort of process it a bit more and understand it a bit more. And I think now I'm on a right momentum.
You're actually doing better than ever, and the weight's coming down faster than ever.
Okay.
So yeah, the weight went back up. You joined the Slum Society group program. You were doing your therapy, which was really helpful for you as well. And we've also been working on a lot of the food psychology side of it non-stop, haven't we, basically, since the start.
Yeah, because I did start sending pictures, then I stopped because I thought, I bet Connor's bored of this. And then I was like saying to my son,
Can I show Will how many food pictures?
yeah,
Go on.
It must be about 2,000 and odd. Seriously, but I did stop sending them because I thought, well, one, I think is going to get bored.
Read
of
out
this.
that number.
Where is it? You weren't wrong. 2,166. That's ridiculous. Yeah, can't say shit.
I did stop for a period of time, and then I thought, I'm doing all right, because I started losing. Then I thought, and then after a few weeks, I went, this isn't working.
Okay.
So then I had to introduce them back in.
It's on average, I just worked out, about 2.2 pictures per day, or something like that with me, which makes sense because you send me most pictures of most of your food. Yeah, for a period of time we didn't do it.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, it doesn't really work out like that though, because you ate more than 2.2 things per day. Probably a couple of meals and a couple of little snacks, but we didn't do it for a period of time.
And I think now I'm learning that snacking is not as good as you make it out. It's all right to be there, but it's about the control and your food environment as well. Because I was go on.
No, you go, please. Sorry.
Because I was gonna say that in the office is the worst thing ever.
I bet.
Because they always have. Yeah, they do. Like the other day, I went in. I went, what? They're put in a specific place, which is I sit one side and the cupboard's like here, practically with everything on, and the two people that are the culprits for it sit there. And I get up because I go about 3 o'clock. I go, let's see what's up here. Then I start talking. Then I start looking at the packets. And then I go, I'll have one of them. I'll have one of them.
We got hobnobs.
Correct.
These kind of things.
Yeah. You know, your crisps and everything else that you pile on there. And then Christmas stuff appears, and Easter stuff appears.
There's always a season, isn't there?
Absolutely.
And it's a stressful environment, isn't it? And everybody else is doing it, and maybe it's a bit boring sometimes. So it's like it's an easy thing to do where you want to get up and have a little break as well, just to give your brain a rest from just working non-stop. Everybody needs to do that, so it's a difficult situation.
But it was quite funny because they had this philosophy of moving it to the other end of the office, but it's not. It only lasted a couple of weeks because it's back where it was.
Like near the people who want it the most. The thing I was going to say about snacking is, I think snacking's okay as long as it's done for positive, not negative reasons. And I kind of feel like that about junk food in general. Like if we go out and we all eat dessert, nice, we're having a nice social time. Yeah. Well, mine's nice. If you're doing it to try and fill a hole, or to create happiness, or because you're upset, this is general. I mean, it is a legitimate coping mechanism, and I use it sometimes too, and everybody does. So I'm not like fully talking negative about it. But overall, I think as long as you're eating junk food for positive reasons and you feel good about it, and it's appropriate for you, then it's kind of fine. The more psychological negatives you've got attaching to the reason why you're eating the junk food, it's probably a worse idea. We need to get more helpful rather than harmful, and like I said earlier, constructive rather than destructive, and healthy rather than unhealthy stress management and coping mechanisms, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, the important thing as well is building in the walking strategy, because that is part of the distraction a bit.
So if you put it in 3 offices over on the other side of the city, you could walk over and then get it and then walk back.
Yes.
That'd be a good idea.
Well, I sort of do that for lunch anyway. So walk down,
yeah.
walk back. Or I have to do another job, walk there, walk back. But on average now, I think I do about 10, 12,000 steps.
I was going to ask. Pretty legit then,
yeah.
that, isn't it?
Legit, isn't it?
Plus now I do Pilates and I do 3 sessions here. Or at my other gym if it's snowing.
What do your training sessions tend to look like in the gym?
Here, I think I train with Connor 1 day a week, so you can imagine his killer sessions.
We basically do legs of death,
Yeah,
don't we?
yeah,
We do a lot
yeah.
of glutes and we do legs of death.
I understand.
Describe the leg workouts, you go through it. What do we usually do? Some stuff we usually do.
We generally do hip thrust, the other machine that's like that thick that it feels uncomfortable. The other hip thrust machine.
Oh yeah.
We do barbell hip thrusts and the machine hip
That's
thrust.
double power, double glute.
Yeah.
Quite often we've been doing the barbell hip thrust and then superset, like drop set with the machine, then onto the seated hamstring curl machine as like a little triple. Yeah, double glutes and then add on a little bit of hamstring burn on the end. And it's nice that, isn't it? Sometimes we do like 5 rounds. Well, it's as nice as it can be for being horrible torture. It's more effective than it is nice. I used the wrong word. It's very effective, if not horrible.
True.
So you can imagine the few swears that go through my head at that point. And I'm going, the bastard's going to get me.
You're going to get me.
I'm going to kill him. This is torture. But I think I've only whined once, because you told me once to stop whining.
Hey, and you listened. Look at that.
I'm only ever playing with you. You don't whine really.
No, I will say that about you. I haven't spoken to you to much extent, but you're definitely not a whiner. It's nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, no,
Thanks.
Sometimes you do talk about real negative feelings, but you never ever whine, and that's one of the reasons why, like we said on, I think it was last episode, that you've never annoyed me. Sometimes, are you always happy? No, nobody is. Do we sometimes have issues? Yes, we do. Is it sometimes terrible torture and it's worth mentioning? It's remarkable torture.
Oh, absolutely.
It's worth remarking upon. Sometimes, yeah, but you're never just whining for no reason, and you also never complain while you're not doing things. You're not like, oh, my weight's not going down, but you're doing nothing. Or, oh, the training's awful when you're not doing it. No, you complain about how hard the weight loss is and the training is while you're doing it, which I agree and accept. I'll complain with you. I also think it sucks. I'm also doing the training. I also know it's awful. Last time we were training, we got about halfway through the session. I said to you, I'm slowly dying. I'm dying a slow leg based.
And I went, I'm going downstairs. And you went, where are you going? I went downstairs.
Yeah, to do more. Like, oh. Your conditioning's become amazing though, hasn't it?
Yeah.
First few sessions here, we were taking it steady. And you were getting blasted. Now you can do full leg session and you're like, what else are we doing? I'm like, nothing, I'm dead.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I actually did 100 kg, I think.
The hip thrust?
Hip thrust, yeah.
Awesome.
Which is...
Yeah, that's a real weight.
Well, I think we were training with Rebecca as well. So I think she put it on and went, and I'm going to have a go at this. I'll give it a go. I mean, I do try stuff. I'm not a defeatist. I get frustrated with myself when I try find I can't do it. It's like Connor was telling me off the other week about positioning for, is it the bench row? I give up in
Hey, I wasn't telling you off. Come on now, let's use...
Well, the question was, I raised this question is, I didn't quite have the body in the right position, and then I realised that if you don't do that, you end up hurting yourself, don't you?
Yeah.
More
I wasn't telling you off, I was just giving constructive...
Criticism.
Not criticism, suggested improvements. Okay, not criticism. I'm not like, you're awful, look at you doing it wrong. No, I'm like, hey, I think we could keep our spine a little bit straight and maybe try it like this. Yeah, you weren't doing it wrong, you were just a little bit short on the base, so you were a bit like this, whereas I would prefer you to just be a bit longer. That's all. Well, and after a couple of sets of practice...
You can't get taller, Connor.
No, but you can get.
Well, the thing is, the problem is when you work in an office, you sit like this all the time, don't you?
Lengthen that torso, Vidler.
Well, it's right, though, isn't it? You do.
Get that neck out.
So you can imagine me sat on my office desk trying to sit like this, what I'm trying to do on your computer.
Yes.
But
Typing like Miss Daisy.
I'm currently bullying one of my clients to get a standing treadmill for his desk at home. Yeah, so we can hit some more calories throughout the day.
That's a good move.
Shredded.
I always want this.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'll get one of these at one point.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. A lot of people at MacrosInc have them. They come onto video because we have a lot of video calls and video meetings. Yeah, not when talking to clients or in like consultations, but if we're on like team meetings or like company meetings, 50% of people are walking.
50 heads just bobbing up.
Yeah, they're just walking just steadily on the treadmill because everybody works at home and we're all trying to be health and fitness professionals and burn a few more calories. If you're on 3 meetings a day, you can walk steadily for 3 hours.
that's true.
That's a lot.
No, you're true.
You can get way over 10,000 steps.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
And now you can eat way more. Yeah. And you're just going to be sat down.
That's what I'm
thinking that your lower back hurts.
He's like reasonably lean but wants to be shredded and struggles to like eat because he only ever has like 1 meal a day. So it's like, I kind of need the food. I'm like, well, look, you haven't really put on weight or lost weight for the last 2 years. You haven't changed anything. So if we change nothing about what you're putting into you, but we make you walk for 2 hours a day on a desk at home without changing anything anyway, you're going to get shredded, aren't you? So
it'll get leaner, yeah. And it becomes calorie burning like that through low intensity activity becomes proportionately more effective the leaner you are.
Yeah.
Because the leaner you are, it's harder to just create the calorie deficit from food. That's why you see bodybuilders doing like slow walking on the treadmill, or they're always on the stepper, just going slow, because it's not burning that much energy that you'll get so tired you can't lift. No. But you also can't just keep taking your calories lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. So you've got to have a good
No, you're right, because I have worked, some days I've worked on something like, that's my phone ringing.
You can have a look if you...
No, it's all right.
All good?
It's all right. And I've had like 700-800 calories in a day, and sometimes I felt like absolutely cream crackered, because you can't, and I've done it 2 or 3 days, and I've not realised, like the other day, I messaged him like, fucking hell, I ain't eating all day. I've had my protein, that's it. And I'm training in here going, I'm not eating anything.
But this is also a good sign that you're getting much more metabolically healthy, because then you can go through a day and do a training session without any food or any carbs, and you're just fine. Yeah. You just feel fine.
That's what I'm saying. The weight loss can't be for short term. It doesn't work, because you're getting that roundabout cycle of, I'll just lose a few kilos, or I want to lose 3 stone. When they've lost 3 stone, then they're all going. Then they're partying, then they go back to normal diet, then they go whatever, and then, then they're miserable again because, I've gained another 3 stone plus 2.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's that kind of aim to start a diet with the idea of ending it and going back to they're like, okay, I know I've been bad, but I'm going to change what I'm doing for a bit so I can lose some weight, so then I can go back to what I enjoy doing. Like, no, you need to find a way to shift your daily habits and learn to enjoy them, which is the problem most people take, isn't it? Is that they shift them to something that isn't maintainable or reasonable or enjoyable, so they do only do it for 2 or 3 weeks, and then they're back on what was the problem in the first place. So it's shifting these whole habits to make sure that everything about it is enjoyable as much as it can be.
I mean, I still have a KFC salad with chicken on.
Yeah, what we were saying.
You know, I still have cake, I still have chocolate, I still have a gin with a slimline tonic, Fever Tree, because the other one's shit.
But this is perfect, isn't it? It's like you've been trained by the best. Get in.
That's why he's going to have a fat head one day. I already told him he'll be famous one day.
We're trying.
We're trying. Big old mega mind.
But you're doing really well, aren't you? Now we're in the 80s, we're mid-80s on body weight.
Yeah, my original goal when I first started out with you was 85, and I'm now destined to look at 75.
Yeah, because we're just a couple off 85, aren't we?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah. So
but I've always said I don't want to look like a skeleton. That's my worry.
Okay.
But no, that's why we're training, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You look like a skeleton. That's not a good idea, Connor. Come on, you're better than this.
That was a good one. No, because if you look at like fitness models, they're very, very lean. Or you look at athletes, they're very, very lean or stuff like that. But they don't look like a skeleton because they've got muscle mass. You just can't be made out of nothing.
Muscle's cool.
You can't have no muscle and no fat, because then you've got no nothing.
Fat loss can make you feel better. Muscles make you feel great.
Yeah.
Do you know what the biggest complaints I get now are? My legs are too thin and I've got no arse.
Yeah, there you go. So you want to...
I've had it from my mother-in-law, I've had it from my sister-in-law, I've had it from two colleagues at work. Two colleagues from work. And the hardest thing now is accepting that I need to buy smaller clothes, because I still think I need to buy big.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yeah, carry on.
Fuck those people.
What's happening?
People who are making commentary on the way that Melanie Vidler looks.
I agree.
Don't make any commentary on the way people look. It's none of your goddamn business. You should ignore these people, and you should log down who's making commentary about the way you look and think, oh, really now? I'm not saying you have to do anything about it or treat them any differently, but just remember, it's just not appropriate. Don't make comments.
Treat them differently by getting jacked and getting all the good things, and then just walking past them all slowly, like.
Do you go around commenting negatively about people's bodies?
No.
Exactly, I know you don't. And neither do I, and neither do you. Exactly. So people should not do that. So completely ignore those people.
It's a challenge, though, because
of course it is.
It is a challenge, and the fact is that people still make comments no matter what. It's like I get mummed at, pull your trousers up. Well, I don't mean to rub, but where am I going to pull them up to? Hello?
I want you to tuck your boobs into it. That's what calm down, parents.
Just start listening to hip hop and just call it sagging.
Just
go for it. Just carry on a boombox and just go with it.
And I got a belt on. Yeah, we have. What more do you want? Hello. I just haven't got the physique, the lower half, to hold my trousers on. I'm sorry. Which is a challenge on.
So I think what we're saying is like you've got a goal you've gotten to, and now you've shifted the goalposts and given yourself something harder to get to, and that's awesome. It's awesome for you to look at you, and throughout any negative lens, just go, okay, this is what I want next, and then work on that. But yeah, we need to fuck these other people off.
I mean, I still have my negativity sometimes.
Of course, yeah.
Which is normal. We all have our peaks and troughs, and poor Connor gets me long messages and and people like that. And I've been more open and honest, and that's because I've had to learn a lot about myself. And the fact is, I'm determined. I'm not going to give up, and I don't want this to be a short-term thing, and it can't be a short-term thing because I've come too far now to make it short-term.
What listeners should do is message us in about every 2 or 3 months and say, how's Mel doing? That'll keep you on track. If we get loads of YouTube comments, so people say, Mel better be eating healthy.
Yeah.
Is she walking?
Our number one fan better be eating healthy.
She better be.
The number one view on every video.
No, I've said this to you before though, legitimately. You're one of the only clients that I've ever had in my life where I don't worry about you quitting. And I can't say that for many people. If you'd have asked me about most clients that I've had, if somebody said to me, is there a probability that they will quit before they achieve their goals? I'd say they might.
It's also just
I mean,
less and
hope
less
not, but they
likely
might.
the more time goes on for you, because your education's so excellent now and your psychology towards it. You just the sheer work you put in, the snowball effect, all of it kind of thing. But I think mainly the education side of it. Like you aren't going to yo-yo between a dumb diet that makes you feel like shit and then coming back up because you know not to. And,
Is that you, Will, by any chance?
So you're going to be fine, aren't you? Is what we're saying.
I agree with this as well. And I also think it's the positivity creation of it, because every time you're losing weight, you're feeling better, not worse, which is the way we should be going. When you're doing this training, you're not finding it awful. You're actually feeling better and better and better and enjoying it and enjoying being here at the station. So why would you want to stop feeling better? You've got good mindfulness to remember how you felt before versus how you feel now. We talk about it a lot to never forget. Don't ever forget how shitty it was before, because we're not going back there. And then when you got to this 85, you're not thinking, oh, I'd love to be more overweight again. You're thinking, no, I'd like to be even less than this because I'm feeling great, and I don't want to feel great. I want to feel phenomenal. So we're moving forward.
It's the fact you can go into a normal shop. I mean, the first time when I lost the big lot of weight, and I actually went into Matland of all places, because the fact is I had to quickly buy clothes. And I went, and I could hear my son going, these. And woman probably thought, oh my God, there's a cuckoo in the thing. And I just went out, that's amazing. She just looked at me and she went, do you know what? In 6 weeks, I've gone down 3 trouser sizes. But it's the fact is that I can look and go, actually, I can buy some normal clothes.
Yeah, that's nice for you, isn't it?
However, I still like the long length, but you don't always get that with some of them. So, but that's because of the comfort in Seville.
Yeah, of course.
But this gym, I must admit, I travel to come here 3 times a week, and sometimes it takes me an hour to get here, but I come here because it's an amazing place. It is.
Well, we thank you for that, and we shout out the station gym staff, Phil Roberts and Tom and Pierce, all the people. They'll appreciate that.
Yeah, because it's a good atmosphere. You can chat to people, even though some of them go around with headphones in and don't want to talk to you.
Yeah,
we're all here for different reasons, aren't we? But yeah, it's nice that there are enough people that share your want to talk to people as well. That's handy, isn't it? Yeah. Good environment for you, I agree.
All right, I think as the conclusion then, because we've pretty much run out of time, I can see on the timer there, I'd like you to give, were you going to say something?
Yes, I was going to say, as a conclusion is, don't give up, because...
This is good, because I was just going to ask you if you could just give one piece of advice to other people who are trying to lose a lot of weight like you have and are still doing. What's the thing you'd say to people?
Don't give up, and it's not a short-term thing. You've got to plan for the long term. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, then you're sort of knackered. That's what I think.
Yeah, because it's lifelong, isn't it?
Yeah.
You want to be healthy and happy forever. I want you to be healthy and happy forever. I want all our listeners to be healthy and happy forever, not just until you go on holiday and then feel shit again.
Yeah.
Oh, good. That sounds nice. So no, let's not. Let's be healthy and happy now and forever, preferably. All good?
Yes.
Anything else?
Beautiful. That's it, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. Thanks for coming, Will. Lovely to see you. Thank you for coming as well, Mel.
Thank you
Lovely
very
to
much.
see you.
Thanks
Good
for
episodes this
firing
week.
If you don't get these podcasts on, he's going to get fired.
I'll fire you.
I'll be fired. Yeah. So if nobody ever hears this, you know what's occurred.
And then it'll be called Experts and Idiots, and it'll be me and me.
That's me, you and you together.
Take care, people. Thank you for listening.